Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Jelial. I am here today to talk about the energies of the next week from March 2nd until March 8th. The most important event that we have is the total lunar eclipse in Virgo that I already did a video talking about this. I'm going to leave this in the reproduction list below in the description. So we have to see these as karmic processes that go hand in hand with all the eclipses that we have experimented since the beginning of 2025 officially, because we had an eclipse in Pisces in September of 2024. And I want to remind you that with karmic, I am not referring to wrong or good. I am referring to vital integrations that are connected with our purpose of incarnation. And if we approach them with an open perspective, a flexible one, and consequent movements, everything can turn into something positive. So we have the proposal to let go of ideals of what we think that is correct, that are limiting us because they actually don't have a coherence with what is truly correct for our spiritual development in the material reality. And with the stellium of planets in Pisces, our intuition, our energy, and our body could speak very, very loud. So we are listening. Other thing that I commented on that video is that all the bodies, the video of the eclipse I am referring, all the bodies that are in Pisces right now are responding to Neptune that is together with Saturn and in Aries. Therefore, a key for many people is to make brave decisions that have a profound connection with their souls. Even if this demands certain effort of transcendence of patterns that we have made identity in. Also, in some cases, it is about developing patience with the process, but avoiding polarizing ourselves in decisions that are impulsed based on supposed immediate benefit, because they truly respond to escapism of the true inner labor that we have to do. And with Saturn in here, it is a key to think in what constructs, in what builds in the long term, because our decisions are going to have consequences. So with this, I'm going to go to the first transit of this week that also participates of the eclipse. I am referring to Mars. Tomorrow, March 2nd, Mars enters in Pisces until April 9th. Mars rules Aries, a sign of fire. It is this planet through which the function, through which we are moving, deciding, initiating. And here it has to, be in the depths of the ocean of Pisces. And if you can visualize yourself, you in the middle of the sea, you are going to notice that there is no direction that we can see. There is no route, but above there are these marine currents, the sea currents. And from this symbol, I am trying to transmit that the direction is going to be marked by our intuition. And as I was saying, for the first time in our lives, it is going to be influenced by this conjunction between Neptune and Saturn in Aries. Therefore, the tendency to not confronting that this Mars could express could be diminished, a little bit diminished. And as it is a sign of water, the way that we are managing our emotions is going to have a great impact in how we are acting. So this could be a transit that could imply having to be more determined with decisions that perhaps were evaded, self-affirming, and protect our energy regarding, habits or situations in which the energy could be, being dispersed, being drained infinitely, or in which the tendency to be compassive or empathetic, it is confused with lack of boundaries. This means to recognize when we truly need to approach an experience that could present a certain level of conflict, but we truly have to approach that because it has a learning that we need to incorporate to move forward. And when it is wise to not do anything. In fact, this is one of the virtues of this Mars in Pisces, in light. But on the other side, it could also a position that pushes us to align with higher causes. This means to go through situations in which there are cosmic forces that are operating and that we don't control. And this requires this renouncement to desires of the ego, this surrendering to the higher purposes, even if we rationally don't understand the whole panoramic view, So the initiative of Mars in Pisces could have a lot of affinity with creative projects, especially artistical ones, or causes that can contribute with spiritual development. inner unity, which is also the collective unity. The shadow of Mars in Pisces is more linked with initiatives that are coming off illusions, fantasies, disconnected from reality that don't have a true direction, mechanisms of evasion to avoid certain actions, forms of self-deceit to justify ways that we are moving forward that are not actually in coherence with what we require right now. And also these passive aggressive behaviors could also be a shadow of Mars in Pisces. Well, March 3rd, we have the lunar eclipse in Virgo. I already talked about that. I'm not going to enter again in this event. I'm going to move to March 4th. This day we have Venus in Pisces making the last sextile with Uranus in Taurus. This is a harmonic aspect. And having in account that we are coming from this square between Mars and Uranus, this could be a very nice opportunity, because a sextile is a harmonic aspect, to connect with our desires of the soul and to make changes that are actually aligned with those manifestations, whether because this implies the detachment of a space or situation in which we have understood that we are not giving value to ourselves by perpetuating that, or because we are doing this choice that comes from this very authentic and creative place, from self-love and love towards everything that surrounds us, whether this involves other person or a society, or we are implementing something in our experience regarding projects that we enjoy to do, or the ways that we are relating with other people, bonding with other people, that generate this sensation of renewal, of removing the earth and, bring water so something fertile could grow. Let's continue. In March 5th, we have the Sun in Pisces in a trine with Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, the perfection, because this aspect also participates of the eclipse. In fact, it's one of the principal ones, and it is the most harmonic that we have this week. This means that beyond you are experimenting right now, your reality these days, there is always an opportunity for growth, for rebalance, for healing. And many times we have to learn and to train ourselves to be more receptive to see them, because they are not that obvious or extraordinary as we expect. But well, this trine could be the manifestation of growth in which we have put energy. Perhaps it's a situation that we can recognize that is more assimilated emotionally, and it is not affecting us the same way, so we feel more free. Could be connecting with people, feeling grateful for the people or the circle in which we feel this emotional resonance, and we can actually give support mutually. Could be extracting the sense of an experience, of a past experience that is creating inner peace in ourselves. Could be literally an opportunity that presents so we can expand, or results in certain projects of life that we have been nourishing. So it is a very nice transit. Okay, March 6th, Venus enters in Aries. It moves away from its exalted sign, which is Pisces, and according to the planetary dignities, it is in fall in here. I don't know if this is an expression in English. I got confused. Well, it is because Aries is a land of Mars, which is the planet that impulses. It is the masculine energy that gives, and Venus incarnates the feminine attribute, the reception one. So also Venus here acquires these masculine qualities. The important thing is the awareness with which we choose to use this energy, this available energy, and its most elevated expression. This Venus is a pioneer, an initiator. It is courageous, and it is going to dare to take risks and go for the desires of the soul. And for the first time, we didn't transit this before, it is going to connect immediately with Neptune and Saturn in Aries. This is going to be perfected on March 7th and 8th, respectively. So I'm going to expand more about this, because this is something very, very new. But these contacts are calling us to elevate our desires. I am referring that, if they are coming from illusions that are not concording, again, in agreement with the facts and the behaviors in reality. Let's remember that Venus is related to the relationships, desires, the resources. Also could be, in this case, talking about the conjunction, if those desires or the way that are approaching them are coming from fanatist idealizations, or the focus in the things that we want, but without measuring the way that we are going towards them and how that could impact other people, or if that is crossing healthy boundaries, whether they are our or those of our own or of the other people. Well, there could present certain blockages or consequences that are going to offer a lesson. Perhaps, sorry, I'm mixing languages. Perhaps it is not the way, or perhaps it is not the direction, but this invites us to assume responsibility, to take accountability, and to make different choices later. It could happen that certain processes are going through a delay, not necessarily because they are not aligned with our soul, but because we have something to learn about them. Experiences with Saturn many times are testing our patience, and that is not happening because life doesn't want for us to move forward or to frustrate us. Even we could feel frustrated. On the contrary, they have the function to show us how to lead ourselves ahead, but with very solid steps, or facing the fears that are making us believe that we don't have capacity. As the last transit that I'm going to comment today, on March 7th, we have the conjunction between the Sun and Mercury retrograde in Pisces in the degree 16. So this is the middle point of the retrogradation. It is given in the context of the eclipse. So here you could have this revelation of a transited situation or the past, which is the same, that it illuminates us. It turns us more aware. It could be a conversation and information that helps us to see that experience in a different way, and perhaps being able to decide or communicate with greater clarity. Thank you, everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.